Hi everybody, I'm Chef Cat Cora and I'm making my hot honey short ribs. I've been making this short rib forever, my whole career, and I started making and cooking meat, grilling meat, braising meats when I was a little girl. My dad taught me how to do that. Without the hot honey, I added that, but this is new. I'm bringing this modern, exciting twist that's all the rage right now to my classic short rib recipe. So here we go. And what I like to do with short rib is really get a nice seasoning on there, cracked pepper. And you can see this is an English cut, bone out short rib. We're gonna get a lot of flavor in this. You can see all the marbling in here. You can see all the nice, there's a nice fattiness, but there's also lean. Fat is flavor. So you gotta have a little bit of that in there. Hot Dutch oven, this is what I'm going to braise these in. I'm gonna put this whole thing into the oven. Southern barbecue is low and slow. So low heat, slow amount of time. It gets it really nice where everything is falling off the bone and it's just like come apart and melt in your mouth. Braising starts with a nice sear. So you hear that sizzling. You wanna hear that sizzle when you add this in anything into a pan. Everything I do with every single dish that you'll taste is I build the flavor. This reminds me so much of home. I mean, you could dice these short ribs up and it could be my mom's beef stew. Put these on a tray, set them aside. You wanna start cooking your mirepoix as a trifecta. I add garlic too, that's my little extra secret ingredient. Classically, carrot, celery, onion. You want that juice from all the meat. That's the good stuff. You want that in there. So now I'm adding tomato paste to it. It also adds an acid, and what the acid does is all of that baked on, you know what I'm talking about, the browning on the bottom, all those brown particles on the bottom of your pan when you're making something like this or you're searing something, they call it, it's a French word called fond, F-O-N-D. What that means, it's a fancy word for brown stuff on the bottom of your pot. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna deglaze all of those really yummy particles off the bottom of your pan and it puts it into your sauce. It brings it all in, it deglazes the pan. So we're burning the alcohol out of the wine. Really, really good beef stock. I'm gonna bring this up to a simmer. I'm gonna put my short ribs back in braising. You want your meat to be about 2/3 of the way up on your meat when you're braising, making it super moist and super fork tender. So it's just gonna fall apart. When you eat it, it's melting in your mouth, and that's what you're looking for. And I'm gonna put it in my 325-degree oven for about 3 to 4 hours, and then we're gonna have this beautifully melt in your mouth short rib. The next part of this dish is called skordalia, basically a Greek garlic mashed potato, and it is delicious. Greeks eat this during the Lent period. That's why it's got no cream, no butter, no dairy in it like a normal mashed potato would. Some garlic. To start adding in some of my olive oil, I'm gonna start mashing it that way. It's not about being a super whipped potato. Adding the lemon juice as well. All right, so that's ready to go. I'm gonna set that aside. Now I'm gonna make my signature chili crunch. I have the smashed up garlic with all the juices, and that's so important to start in this chili crunch. I'm gonna add in the chili. This is a hard launch of the chili right here. I'm gonna add in all my 3 ingredients, my apple cider vinegar, I'm adding in my hot sauce, and I'm gonna add in my honey. All right, now, snap peas. This is to finish the dish. I'm adding a crunch. I'm adding something sweet and crunchy, which I love these. These snap peas, sugar snap peas are one of my favorite greens. So I'm adding some sesame oil to the pan. You don't need a lot. Swing that around the pan, 3 to 4 minutes. These are quick. And I've trimmed them off. I've trimmed the edge, little tip off, that little stem. Add in sesame seeds. Again, toss those up. When I plate this, you're gonna see how gorgeous it is. All right, short ribs are finished. I can smell some of the wine. I can smell all of the mirepoix. One of my favorite ways to cook meat is braising. Let's start plating here. So I've got my skordalia, real beautiful. Nestle it right in there. Now my chili crunch. Just gorgeous. Look at that. This is my hot honey short rib, and I'll say short rib, skordalia and chili crunch. Here we go. I'm gonna dig in, dip it in a little of the hot honey. You will love this. I cannot wait for you to have this dish.